Hey, what's up guys? This is Justin from Justice League Swag, and today I'm going to be doing a Legend World deck profile on stars. First up, the buddy, Cassiopeia. Pretty clutch. You always want to play this on the field because ideally it'll get you back 2 cards from the drop. Starting off with my size 0 lineup. 3. Celine, size 0 with 2 crit. Ideally, I want to push my opponent for damage instead of drag out a game. 1. Perseus, just because he's only 1 crit, and ideally you could keep fishing him back from the drop zone with your buddy. Every time he leaves the field any type of way or from your hand, take away a gauge from your opponent, which is really good. I mean, most people running that 4, which is also really good, but whenever I build a deck, I always push for damage. Next up, size 1s. 4, Regal Orion. You can pitch up to 2 cards with him that have star in his name to draw up to 2 cards. This is like really good. It's a great way to drop cards in your drop zone, and then Cassiopeia can scoop them right back up. Of course, the buddy, Cassiopeia, I already explained. 4, 5-2-1 beat stick. It's a star. You want to keep bringing it back because these guys really struggle getting over walls. So ideally, you want him on the field a lot. That's it for my size 1 lineup. Size 2 lineup. 4. Slatterogue. Gives you 2 gauge every time you play it. This deck is actually gauge heavy, so you want to max this guy out. 1 Stellar Deity, just because you can fish it back with your buddy, and early game I found it to be like a really terrible draw. Like, you only need it to drag out games, and the way I built this deck, I just want to push for damage. The Rush card. Nemia line. This guy's really good. Pay 1 gauge, you could search for basically the entire deck when you play him on the field. So, it's clutch. Then play a card over him if you want, or if he's in the center, just let him die. Items. Because the deck is gauge heavy, I went with this instead of items to actually deal damage, and you want to keep a monster in the center. So, yeah, damage dealing weapons would be good for a straight up rush deck if you build it that way. But I am using Frozen Stars as this build. 3. So it's not necessarily a rush build. It can do both though, with the 2 crit size 0s. 3 of this is not as much as a win condition, so you don't need to max it, but you want to see it. Once you have it on the field, it's not leaving, so maxing it at 4 is pretty pointless. Running in the rush decks, staple 4 Holy Grail if they get through your center. Also, Scorn of Gremlin to protect your guys that are on the field, or protect the sun if he's been attacked alone. If your opponent can get 1 attack in, and that's it. Otherwise, I just let him die and then Cassiopeia fish him back out. 2 Breathing Guard, negate a spell. I was thinking about putting in Berserk Guard just so I could fish these back, but it's like this deck already prolongs the game too much, where it's like you drag it out to the point where you're almost decking out, and then with it being so gauge heavy, it's kind of hard to squeeze in the Berserk Guards. 2 Kaiserion matchups. You also could side for barbed wire, but ideally this pops a weapon as soon as your opponent enters battle, especially if it's a problematic weapon. Kaiserion as soon as they ride. 3 Symbol Guard. You drop below 6, have Breathing Guard in the drop. It's a free cast to draw 2 cards. And 3, Starfall Knight. I would run it at 4 if I had another one. This card is probably the biggest staple in the deck. So if you can max it in your deck if you have 4 copies, unlike me. And that is it for the Star Legend World deck profile. I'll have a Star Legend Hero deck profile coming up soon. Please like and subscribe.